everyone. Welcome to Please Tell Me. I know we have talked enough about COVID-19, so in this episode, I promise I will not say any COVID again. Our first topic this week comes from sports. Imagine you are 16 years old and playing youth professional sports. All of a sudden, your team disbanded. What would you do? You may be able to find a job in other teams or go back to school. It really happened to a group of young athletes in China this week. Their team disbanded. This team is called Tianjin Quanjian. In 2015, Tianjin spent a record-breaking of $9.5 million on a Chinese soccer player transfer. In 2017, Belgian midfield player Axel Witsel was transferred for 20 million euros and his salary was about 18 million euros, which made him the top 10 earning soccer players in the world at that time. Last week, Tianjin Quanjian just couldn't afford it anymore. After 5 months of drama, it's finally disbanded. Of course, all coaches and the employees got unemployed. Fans lost the love team, and the players out of jobs, no matter senior or young. Professional sports are extremely expensive. In 2018, Green Bay Packers spent $420 million and their revenue was about $455 million. It's not very profitable, but at least they are making ends meet. It's quite a different situation in China, the Chinese professional sports. Even after years of high growth, seems not profitable to be self-sufficient. In Chinese professional soccer league, teams on the bottom spend on average $60 million annually. The top team can spend well over $150 million. All the teams are not making ends meet. For example, Guangzhou Evergrande, if you can recall, I have talked about the news they fired a player for violating traffic rules. In 2019, they spent over $400 million and the revenue was only about $130 million. The 50% of revenue was advertisement, but the advertisement were also from the Guangzhou Evergrande other business like real estate. If they have not transferred the money from left hand to right hand, the revenue would be horrible to watch. It's apparently not a healthy model. If it goes completely by market, the Chinese soccer industry should be 1/10 of what it is today. Well, I'm not quite interested in how they become so large. I'm more interested in what will happen when they go south. What will happen to all those players? In China, most young athletes, if they seem promising, will enroll in a professional soccer school. Much like the US, all talented athletes have to be trained professionally. Picking a straight guy and making him an international star only existed in movies. In China, soccer school plays soccer most of the time and study, by the way, which is wildly different from playing soccer in school where you study first and play soccer after 3 p.m. From the stereotype over Chinese, you can understand how challenging Chinese elementary and middle schools are. So their peers are studying hard to gain a further step in academics when they play in soccer. After years, the soccer students are far apart from their peers in a normal school. As a result, the moment you determine to enroll in a soccer school, your life was determined to be tied to soccer. You have to play soccer at different levels. When you retire, you can only be a soccer coach or a commentator or a millionaire. When you are unemployed from soccer, you are unemployed. You cannot go back to school as you may be well behind others. The professional soccer experiments does not any value will apply to colleges if the college doesn't have another professional soccer team, which is the case for most colleges. If you try to go to work, options are quite limited to some very entry-level work, like door-to-door sales, takeout delivery, Uber drivers, homeless, and so on. This phenomenon almost applies to every professional sport in China. In order to be good, you have to play full-time. Well, you play full-time, you cannot study. So either you are really good to run the million-dollar business, or you are abandoned. At this time, the only reasonable choice is to study and leave sports career alone to avoid a completely zero-sum game. Well, sports industries are quite different in the US. A lot of successful sportsmen turn out to be equally successful after retirement. However, there are only less than 2,000 players in the NFL, but more than 25,000 players are playing in colleges, and less than 4% of high school football players can make it to college. For those young men and women before colleges, they are also in this zero-sum game, just like their Chinese colleagues. You have to play hard to be able to go to colleges with scholarships. If you don't, you may not even have the chance to go to colleges. Our next topic this week is about infant formulas. In 2008, it's reported that several infant formula companies had used melamines in their products, which caused 6 babies to die from kidney stones out of an estimated 300,000 victims. It's such a scandal and will probably be a permanent scar to many Chinese. Last week, there was another infant formula news report. In Hunan province, several parents had used solid drink products to replace formulas as their babies are lactose intolerant. The solid drink products they use, also complying to every national standard, do not have the nutrients infants require to grow. Most babies were diagnosed as rickets or osteomalacia. The solid drink package looks exactly like other infant formula packages. The solid drink was designed to be used as a possible formula alternative on purpose for the profit. It's not sure why such a product can be allowed in infant product stores or sometimes even recommended by pediatricians. The allergy issues were not addressed in China properly for a long time. When I first came to the US, I was really surprised that people can be allergic to peanuts, which was never heard of in China. And it was my first time to hear lactose intolerance, which explains years of puzzles why I feel uncomfortable after drinking milk. The question is, which one is harder, a Chinese parent or an American parent? First, it's either to be an American parent during the pregnancy or before. Although it has changed a lot, there are quite a few Chinese prefer baby boys over girls, so no pressure on having a baby girl in the US. After the baby was born, headaches started on both sides. In the US, it's truly hard to raise a baby while both are working, assuming the baby has a stable pair of parents. But it's either to shop. You don't have to become a formula expert before buying any. Follow advice from pediatrician and buy from a large retailer. In China, things are different. Most of the time, new parents get help from their parents or can hire a nanny. They even invented the afterbirth center where parents do not need to carry anything more than pumping. However, buying from the baby can be really challenging. You actually have to be an expert before buying. Or how can you really navigate through formulas from all over the world, like Friso from Netherlands, Similac from the US, A2 from Australia, Carry Care from New Zealand, and so on. After the baby stages, both sides are starting to get more intensive and the concerns will converge. Education is, of course, a huge deal. If the kid will go to a great school, then you may start browsing houses at such school districts. If the kid seems promising and you are planning on Ivy League, congratulations, you better start saving now and plan all kinds of activities on the CV. Chinese parents could be struggling in Chinese colleges or US colleges if they can afford, but the headache is equal. Certainly, a decision has to be made. on if the kid will go professional sport. The comparison can go on, and we will cover some in our later episodes. Parents in both countries are experiencing some pressures, and both are getting more and more similar later. Guess what happened for those stores and pediatricians promoted solid drinks? The store was fined 3 times of what they have sold. The pediatrician was suspended for 1 year of practicing. The next topic is for the stock market. Which company has the most market cap in Chinese stock market? You may not be familiar with Chinese companies, so let me make it easier. What does this company do to make it the most valuable company in Chinese stock market? Energy section? No, they suffer. High tech? Actually, most high-tech companies are trading in New York rather than Shanghai. Huawei could be one, but it's a private company. Okay, the company with the most market cap in Chinese stock market is called Guizhou Maotai. They produce liquors. Yes, you heard me right. The liquors people drink. The Guizhou Maotai market cap now is about $235 billion. Q1 of 2020, revenue is about $3.5 billion, with net income of $1.9 billion. What? The net profit of 53.65%, which is even a 3.47% increase from last year. Let's compare an American company you may be interested. Tesla. Tesla's market cap is about $150 billion. The Q1 of 2020 revenue is about $6 billion, with net income of $16 million. Net profit margin of 0.27%. Well, hold on a second. It's interesting. All companies with high market caps in the US are tech companies, so they are scalable. Liquors take time. They cannot just build a super factory in Shanghai and expect to produce millions of gallons of liquors the year next. Multi-product line even has an 80 years aging liquor, which means they need to have the liquor ready by 1940. Their market cap is so high that no US liquor or wine companies are close. It may take all such companies together to reach over $200 billion market cap. Of course, multi-liquor is quite unique and deeply embedded in every Chinese, so they can sell at over $200 on average each bottle. The company's background and the culture behind are also quite complex. For the US investors, the liquor business does not sound promising or as sexy as building electric vehicles. Well, the electric vehicle manufacturer is only making 0.27% on the revenue, and the Chinese liquor company is making 53%. Elon Musk said this week, "We should have fewer people doing laws and fewer people doing finance and more people making stuff." That's correct. Thanks to all smart pies invested in my company and bought my story, well, I have not made a single penny. I have no idea if the market or Tesla will go up and down. If it goes up, I may need a shot of liquor to celebrate. If it goes down, I may need another one to relax. Our last topic this week is about cars, more specifically Volkswagen. I know we have discussed some Tesla before, but I would think Tesla more like a tech company. In the US, after the diesel scandal, Volkswagen is slowly recovering. On their website, they have 4 sedans, 3 SUVs, 2 wagons, and 4 compact cars, total of 14. Well, in China, Shanghai factory, they offer a few more, 10 sedans in different sizes plus 5 SUVs and 2 MPVs. In another VW factory in northern China, they offer 12 sedans plus 5 models in SUV. These are 2 factories, although under the name of Volkswagen but operate separately, so you can consider them as two child brands. In China, Volkswagen has a 34 made in China vehicle product line along with 11 import models, so a total of 45. Quite shocking, right? 14 versus 45. Such a situation is not rare in China. Most of the automobile manufacturers have offered more models in China. Consequently, almost every car you can find in US market, you can find in Chinese market. And then you have to count all Chinese manufacturers, which you don't say. In the report back to September 2019, there were a total of 480 different models of vehicles on Chinese new vehicle market compared to 293 models in the US. Apparently, VW is pretty popular, so Volkswagen has been trying everything to squeeze the market. In the US, they only offer 3 SUVs options from small to large: Tiguan, Altis Cross Sports, and the Altis. In Shanghai, Volkswagen, they offer a small SUV called T-Cross, then a mainstream SUV called Terran, which is similar to Tiguan. Above that is the Tiguan L, which is obviously the large size of Tiguan. Then there's the Terramount and the Terramount X, which are similar to Altis and Altis Sport. Once you started looking at Volkswagen, there's always one for you. You can't find any? You may turn to our cousin in the north. They offer another 5 SUV models. There are Terran GTE, Terran R-Line, T-Roc, and Tog. Every automobile market is different, so I'm not really surprised if they have built 10 models for the SUV enthusiastic market. It's more like fast food options: Subway, McDonald's, Dunkin', Pizza Hut, Burger King, Wendy's, Taco Bell, and so on. They may try to differentiate themselves a tiny bit, buy a little bit more healthier, more vegetables, and maybe more meat. By the end of the day, they are still fast foods. This is no doubt the new era of consumerism, where we have been provided with an excessive amount of selections way out of our control. Why we would need 6 different iPhone models? Why we would need 50 different options in milk? Why we would need 480 models of vehicles to select? In the last episode, I have argued that the world has been broken down into many pieces. Some were broken by us, and some were broken for us. Thanks for listening to Please Tell Me This week. I will see you next week.